Started with our audiobook live, and we will go through the rich dad and poor dad. Okay, so let's start. Wow, that's a powerful statement. When you get into a financial trouble or a problem, even if whatever you have thought that it's your asset, uh, so you have to dispose it off. When you dispose it off again, the government claims the taxes. So that's so true that whatever we always think that it's an asset, how many times we are paying taxes on those. It's kind of government takes away so much of it. Powerful. Wow. So it talks about the adults what they need to do, and the kids what they need to do. So you being adults, so we have to teach our kids the difference between assets and liabilities, so that they don't end up buying liabilities. Should be buying assets. That's a that's a very good example or an illustration he gave. So that's kind of people in their mid-age. That means people at the kind of in their 40s. He talks about that when they see their kids leaving their home, and so they start to think about, okay, putting some money in building some assets right away, but they should have started much earlier. And then talks about their own parents getting old and they needed to be taken care of. And so that's so true in that phase of life. So you are taking care of both your kids and your parents, and that. So at that time, it's already late. I should have started much earlier, but anyways, you can start anytime you want, but that's powerful. Wow. That's powerful. So that means you own it, but you don't manage it. Okay, so that means just like any other big businesses, if you take for an example that they are owned, probably someone, the founder probably started, or somebody invested in those property, sorry, not the properties, but it could be property, could be any other businesses as well, but somebody runs it. So the hassles of day-to-day hassles of running it is outsourced to somebody else. So that's powerful. Wow. That's also a powerful lesson he talks about, that what kind of asset. Okay, so what you love, so that is something you should be acquiring, so not necessarily real estate, maybe anything else. For example, Warren Buffett, he may have some real estate, but he's big time into investment stocks and shares, analyzing the company's balance sheets and financial statements. So that's what his domain is, or he likes it. So you just have to find out, because he listed a few of the assets. So let's go back a bit and then understand what are the assets he mentions. Mm-hmm. Wow, wow. Okay. Businesses. Wow, that's a staggering statistics that 9 out of 10 companies fail in the first 5 years. So that means he doesn't encourage you to start a company. I mean, if you are passionate about something, you can, but he talks about it's risky. You have to appreciate that as well. So that means daytime. He's encouraging about having a daytime job and doing something in your evening and weekends kind of thing. So that means it talks about keeping your daytime job and minding your own business. That means building that assets. So that means he doesn't. So he's not for, or he's not suggesting, or in his opinion, managing a business day to day is not something uh, his cup of tea kind of. Mm. Mhm. That's powerful. Okay. So when you build up your cash flows, then he talks about buying the luxury. So he's not saying that you should not, but here is the distinction. He says that the poor and the middle class, they buy the luxury first, but the rich, they buy the luxury later on in their life when they have the cash flow. They want to look rich. Mm, Bravo. Hmm. So it's quite a strong statement. It says Robin Hood may be long gone, but his followers still are there, still alive. That means taxing the rich, or stealing or robbing the rich to feed the poor. It talks. That's what tax is all about. Wow, 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 wow. So the reality says, that the rich never pays the tax. So the rich, it's always the middle class who pays, and for the poor people to be taken care of. Okay, it's never the rich. So that's a very powerful statement. It's so true. If you see all this multinational, multi-billion dollar companies, you will see that hardly they pay any tax. So that means some of these companies tax liability is pretty much similar to one individual, so similar to someone who is working in IT, or having a daytime job as a manager kind of a thing. And sometimes they don't pay any tax at all. Yeah, that's so true. Alrighty, so we will conclude here, and we'll continue with this. So, it's very insightful.